The only way that it's possible for one to navigate outward out of this realm is to navigate and understand how to navigate this realm before it's even possible to do it. And the following idea or the interpretation that I'd like to share with you is to first understand where you are. It's been a process in trying to explain it for quite a long time, and the bulk of the material on this channel has been explaining it as best as it was possible to do. But as you know, once knowledge is shared and wisdom is derived from it, the percolation process takes time for one to understand truly, and that the work in itself, the sum of it, is based on a metaphysical hyper dimensional focus. It has always been that way. If you're coming to certain conclusions and understandings, then I would say that's really good that you've done that you've come to that place, because it explains to you yourself, if you use the things on my channel as a model to work from, that you are progressing within yourself. And so the next thing I want to share with you, after the last video that I made about the crimes of belief, and I do apologize for the staggered sound of the audios of the videos. I think it was just basically the material in its quality that has perhaps should have been more the focus than the sound itself. So basically what I want to explain to you is, imagine the realm in which you exist as a magnetic drawing board. And the best way to explain that is to understand what it requires for you to be mindful of. The magnetic drawing board is a very good example to show you how the realm operates with regards to you. And now I don't want you to go and think that it is as simple as that. It is not. The realm, for its complexities and its appearances to the observer, must be explained in this way, because the board itself is magnetic. Therefore, I want to urge you to understand that the realm itself is magnetic. The magna, or the magnitude, or the magnetic forces that are around one, while the input upon the board is done through intention, the person that draws on the board uses intention, which is electrical current from within the conscious mind, the brain, the thoughts, the thinking process, the nerves inside of your body. Your entire embodiment is electrical, and its impact upon the realm is magnetic. So you create electromagnetic fields or forces of power. And as it uses your mind and other forms or thought forms to make the impression. However, we know that the board with the drawing is intentional, so there is a choice involved. It always is. And each and every time there is an impression made upon the board, it seems to be that it can be wiped clean, as if there was nothing there to begin with. I would assume that you would want to go further and investigate why reincarnation is even such a thing, and why it even exists the way it does. Is it done by you, or is it done by the intentions, or is it done by the influences of another entity or frequency or being? And then your thoughts may go even further back and try to investigate what is the other, because that's the default of where people go towards. This is why the previous video, The Crimes of Belief, I was trying to explain to you that you would need to rid yourself of all forms of beliefs in every form that it is ever possible to, without that which holds true to you. Adapt a transmutational alchemical process in letting go of things that don't serve the conscious thoughts, that don't stand true. Sort of like using the elimination process, which is how your body operates essentially as well. And so therefore, actions, thoughts applied in the form that it is placed upon the board is either magnetized by you, or by the realm itself? Is it the realm that exists independently free from you, or are you existing within it as part of it? And so you will experience a tug of war, literally, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, in every form that it is possible. When you physically leave your body, you will experience winds of magnitude, of such strength, that it would make you feel that you are afraid, so that you must go towards the light or go towards this or that ideology, which you've wanted to work on before you obviously leave. But that's how people think. Humans seem to be locked into the perceptions of beliefs with regards to what would be the most conformed idea, which makes the most sense, or which person do I like the most to give me the best answer, what do I feel. These are all perceptions that perhaps are being manipulated. There are some works and journals that have been written by Stanford research, and it is based on the perceptions and the control of perceptions for the control of the world, essentially. I'm not going to give the title here. I will be doing a review on it. I think I'll make a time when I want to do that. It's a very interesting material, book of works. And so I come back to the drawing board, and I'm explaining about the tug of war and the winds of change that come when you leave your physical form, when it's around you. And these are based on the magnetic forces that are coming off of this, or that radiate out from this realm. And this tug of war is relative. It is always relative to belief systems of mythologies, religions, archetypes, belief systems, etc. Every line that you make on the board, every indentation that you draw on the board stays there for it to become something eventually. Every line that you draw can either be wiped out by someone else, or by you, or by an other. I think we can look at this world not as a dual world, but as a trilateral world, a trinity, a triunity, something that's always been bugging me for some time. And I think many of you have heard me speak about that. And so if you have enough power to alter these lines that have been drawn, and it becomes something, your impact in this realm, it is difficult. It is very, very difficult. It is hard to keep it going. There are too many forces coming from not even yourself, but from others around you, their perceptions that have the same impact as a wind or a magnetic force to drive you to change your direction because of the conformity of minds overall. And so if you have enough power to alter these lines yourself, you're able to have the potency within you, how you are towards yourself and what you are essentially. As Rene Descartes says, I think, therefore I am. If you understand that principle, you're able to understand where you are and what impact you make on this board. I call it a board because it's changed its meaning from what it used to be as a scroll, as something that used to be able to be rolled up, to something that's become crystallized rock hard, so that it becomes like a platform. Literally, the realm has become like a giant platform for things to be posited on, posed on, shared ideas, made to be incorporated into the thoughts because of what is the first instinct of feeling, emotions. And if your heart is not in the right space within your conscious thoughts, if your heart of understanding, your mental thought processes are very much fixed within the perceptions of what is expanded to you, if people say constantly to you, the world's messed up, or this country's gonna go to shit, or whatever, and you are constantly around that frequency, it becomes magnetized. I've said it so many times. I don't know how many more times I have to explain that what you think is what does eventually impact this realm and it plays itself back out to you. And so, if you have enough power to alter these lines that you've made, you must have power, enough power, willpower, to be able to have the power to think before you make the lines on the realm, within this realm. Because as much as you are trying to understand and differentiate yourself and where you fit in this realm, the onus, the simple part of it really is there are those that draw you on the board, or you are the master of your own drawing on the board. And if you are the one that is drawn upon the board as a caricature by another one, then you have work to do. You have to find yourself. You have to learn to define who you are. But you can only know that you are a fish if you understand that fish swim in water. And you can only understand that water is something that is wet and that it is part of the system. And if this fish swims in the water, it breathes in there. Then therefore recognize what you are by recognizing the environment you are in. And so I'd like to tell you that the environment that you are in, the realm in itself, is magnetized, and you are the electrical current that is placed upon it. And this electrical current is also mythologically tied to many vestiges, many gods, many belief systems that control the system, held together by people believing so. And the one God of thunder is always the one God that comes to mind. That is the God of Thor, or Thor, the God of thunder. And is this realm not a Taurus, or a Thor, or a Tor? Think very carefully if you are the one that is the caricature on the board, or if you are the artist drawing on the board. Because if you're able to take control of yourself, your thoughts, your mind, your body, your soul, you are essentially able to understand where you will be going. And then you will be able to understand how to get out. You can literally put the pen down. You can literally put the board down. You can smash the board to pieces when you don't take part in being part of being drawn into this realm. There is a lot of study, parapsychology done to determine the power of the control of perceptions over the thoughts of man. Generally speaking, that was what was used to control the entire world narrative, or the realm that narrative, the script that people believe in. So much so that the first thing that it was the most easiest to influence and control was the impact of religion, but based on beliefs, based on where you place yourself in what belief system. And so though the last video that I've made may have felt as if it was impactful and perhaps harsh words that were spoken there, the intention is for you to understand where you place yourself. Are you within the realm, or are you walking above it? Change the perspective of how you see yourself and where you see yourself. Think on yourself. Think on what is within you. Think, understand, explore, investigate the ontological examination of something that is beyond what you think it may be. Really investigate it deeply. Make sure that what you listen to and what you hear are not just based on perceptions, but there to bend your thoughts. Like how your thoughts are being bent is the same way that energy is being bent. The arc of light that is continuously bent and fractalized and crystallized. All these New Agers have all just been part of a prismatic crystal that bends light so that you never really see the proper, correct form. It's done there for purpose, to change your perceptions continuously. You are in control of who you are. If you don't believe it, then you have work to do. If you know that you are in control, then you will have the willpower to be able to bend that light back. You'll be able to have that power to draw the images on the board yourself. You'll be able to have your impact made within the consciousness of yourself first, before it is even approached in this model of this realm, this arena of war in which mankind fights for his, her, itself in its spirit, soul, mind, body, is part of the perception. And perceptions, as I've said, can be controlled, can be manipulated. This is your ability to discern that. You must also have the willpower to be able to discern from your drawing board and another's drawing board. My perceptions are not your perceptions. Do we even have perceptions? Or do we have telepathy? Because that which is beyond perception is telepathic. It means it is something that is continuous between you and me. And whatever you are experiencing is what I'm experiencing. And therefore, what we are experiencing is part of how we are able to shift the frequency of the drawing on the board. Until next time.